We're here at the Bellagio Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas with WBC Executive Secretary Mauricio Suleiman. Mauricio, thanks for having Fight News at this extraordinary event that you're doing with Hublot Watches to raise money and funds for retirement for the boxers. Can you tell us a little bit about how this idea came about and how you teamed up with Hublot?
This has been a dream come true. My father has wanted to find a way to form a fund, a formal fund with all the whole requirements, and it was just an unbelievable meeting. One day, friend Salvador Briman were sitting down, my father and myself with Mr. J.C. Bieber from Hublot. He just said, what is it that you like? What do you want? My father said, I want a fund for former fighters. He stood up and shook hands, and that's how this came about. That was a year ago. We were working very hard with the details. We are very thankful for the 12 fighters who are being part of this collection, and we're just thrilled to have this fund being a reality.
Now, talk a little bit about what the auction entails. It's 12 fighters, as you mentioned, each with a watch that is specifically designed with their signature, so one watch each that is their signature is engraved on the watch, and those will be auctioned off?
Absolutely. Each fighter gets a Hublot watch for their own, and then another replica of that watch, which is unique because it has the signature on gold in the back, is going to be auctioned. And the winner of the bid is going to come to the ring. The fighter is going to put a robe on him, put the watch on him, raise his hand. It's going to be a money can't buy experience for that bidder who decides to step in the ring and really help this become a reality.
That sounds fantastic. What has been some of the response? Have you been getting quite a feedback and expect some really big rollers coming to this event?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been wonderful. There's a bid online, and also friends have been calling. I know that the son of one of these fighters has made sure that his friends represent him with a high bid for that watch. So there's a lot of interest, a lot of buzz about this.
That'll be interesting to see how that turns out. Now we've got, talk about how you came up with some of the fighters that are the 12 for this year's event.
Okay, this year's collection is from retired fighters. They must be retired, and we went through the lists of the greatest champions of the WBC history. A couple of them could not participate because they had a contract that did not allow them to be part of this event. But if this goes well, we expect next year to do active fighters watches like Mayweather, Pacquiao, Amir Khan, Eric Morales. Even the fighters, they call and they say, hey, I want to be part of the... We had a list of 60, but being retired and being no contractual obligations, we came up with this list, which is the greatest list that you can put together. George Foreman, Mike Tyson, Oscar de la Hoya, Chavez, Duran, Hearns, Fenech, Nelson, Lennox Lewis, Ken Norton, Larry Holmes. It's just unbelievable.
Now, you mentioned the possibility of next year, so as with any retirement fund, you always need to keep putting funds in, so this is something that you hope to do maybe at least on an annual basis, depending on the success? Yes,
we are hopeful this can be something that could be structured with Hublot. Mr. Bieber believes in long-lasting relationships. We do the same, and we are extremely thankful for his generosity and the passion him and his team have put into this to be a reality. These watches are very, very prestigious. People love these watches, the collection. It's just something unbelievable. It's so beautiful. I'm sure it's going to be a great, great beginning of a long-lasting relationship.
Mauricio, thank you very much for having Fight News here. We wish you great success for the benefit of the boxers, and hope it all goes well. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, and Fight News is always there. They have been with the WBC every round, and we're very thankful for your support.
Thank you very much. We're here with former three-time world champion Jeff Fenech at the Bellagio Hotel in Las Vegas for the WBC Hublot fundraising event for retired boxers. Jeff, welcome to Las Vegas. What did it mean to you to get asked by the WBC and Hublot to be part of this great event as one of the recently retired 12 great boxers?
It's an amazing honor. I'm being inducted to the World Boxing Hall of Fame. I think this matches it maybe could beat it. You know, it's just an amazing honor to be with these great fighters and great people. And when you talk about undefeated world champions, I mean, Hublot, the watch company, the undisputed best watch company in the world. So I'm honored to be able to wear one.
Does this say something to you about, and really to the boxing fans of the world, about the fraternity of fighters or the brotherhood of boxing, how they help each other and lend a hand?
Yeah, and more so the WBC. I think you've got to take your hats off to the WBC for what they've done.
Right. I mean, lots of organizations have talked about doing something like this, but this is really kind of a one-of-a-kind, unique event.
And it's going to get bigger. People are going to learn from this, and they're going to hopefully duplicate and copy, and it's going to be great. The WBC are happy for everybody to do it.
Okay. Now you were talking a little bit about you've got 2 teenage daughters. I know what that's like. That you said that's one of the toughest jobs you've had.
No doubt. I've got 2 girls, 16 and 18, so it's pretty scary.
Yeah. Now, also, you have an older son, is it Bo?
My son's 22, yeah.
Yeah. Did he ever talk to you about boxing growing up?
No, he plays all sports, but no, I never took him to the ring. I never done none of that stuff. I don't want him to have the pressures of what his dad had. He's good.
All right, Jeff, listen, enjoy your weekend
Thank
here.
you.
It's great to have you be part of it, and thanks for talking
Thank
to
you
Fight
very
News.
much.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, we're here with Lennox Lewis.
No comment.
We're here with Lennox Lewis at the Bellagio in Las Vegas for the WBC Hublot Watch Retirement Fund auction that's going to begin tomorrow on Saturday. Lennox, talk about how you got invited to this event and your thoughts on what the goal is here to help out some distraught boxers.
Well, yeah, I mean, I thought it was great because, as a boxer, I realize how important it is to support our fellow boxers, and the fact that Hublot and WBC is coming together is such a great combination to help boxers, and they love boxing as well. And there's a lot of boxers out there that actually need a lot of help, so I'm kind of glad that it was started and they're doing a great job. I support that.
And how did you feel being one of the select 12 boxers in this first of what they hope to have be many events to be invited?
Yeah, I was honored. Anytime you're a part of a group of men that have achieved such great heights that we've all achieved, it's always an honor to be accepted.
Now, while you're here at this event supporting the cause, it's been 10 years since you had your last fight against Vitaly Klitschko, and after that you walked away from the ring. You did some commentating for a while with HBO, and are you involved in boxing in any other capacity right now, or just kind of on the outside?
Well, boxing's always my love. Boxing's always been in my blood, whether it's commentating, whether it's training, whether it's managing, whether it's supporting, or even talking to the young youth about their futures in boxing. I do all of that.
Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know if you're spending time back in England or wherever, but did you take in some of the boxing at the Olympic Games in London this past summer?
I was there. I was actually working for BBC, doing some radio stuff for them, and I was there for most of the big fights. I seen big Anthony Joshua win a gold medal for a GB team, and that's the future right now. There's a lot of good upcoming boxers from the Eastern Bloc countries that you really have to keep in mind that they're great. And boxing's growing all the time. It's a work in motion, and I hope to see good things in the future.
How much do you think the home turf advantage helped Team UK? They really did so. I don't know if I want to say surprisingly well, but they did really well, both the men and the women.
Yeah, they did, and it was kind of surprising and then not surprising because the way how a lot of the British team looked at it is they're home. They're here. They've got all their fan supports there, so obviously they're going to do well. So they did well, and usually with the host country always does well in their Olympics for some reason. So that's an ongoing thing.
That's an ongoing thing, but you felt it may have helped morale-wise, but all the decisions were just and fair as far as you're concerned. Those guys and ladies earned it.
Yeah, you could say it really is going to inspire the future of next sporting stars, to be able to see that, basically in the front door, seeing that, different sporting challenges that are out there, different sporting events that are out there, and then seeing their own British stars actually win medals and do good. So they're saying to themselves, boy, I want to be like them. I want to be a star. I want to break records as well.
Right. Now, like I said, it's been 10 years since you've left the ring, and by and large, with the exception of a few hiccups here and there, the Klitschko brothers have dominated the division that you once ruled. What do you attribute that to? Is it the lack of quality opposition, their excellent skills, the fact that your former trainer is training one of them, a mixture of things?
Yeah, I think it's a mixture of things. I think there's a lack of good heavyweights at the moment, and they have a lack of challenges out there. You know, boxing's a sport where you want to be the king of the hill, and you could say I'm the last undisputed champion. Then the Klitschko brothers came along and they shared the championship. One guy has 2 belts, the other one has 2 belts. So we're in the era of the Klitschko reign, you could say, and you know, their reign is coming to close pretty soon. So we're, you know, waiting for that eruption of a great new superstar out there. So, you know, my eyes are open. And, you know, you may have one in Anthony Joshua because, you know, I've spoken to him and he said that he wants to be the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, and that's great.
Yeah. Now, you say their reign is coming to a close soon. Do you feel that that will be by their choice, or do you think there's anybody on the horizon that can upset the apple cart?
Well, you know, there's always people out there that can upset the apple cart. But when it comes to the Klitschkos, you know, I think they'll probably turn it in themselves and retire. Lack of competition that are out there, and you know, they're not really great in America. They're really great in Europe right now. You know, the European, Germans, and Ukraine TV companies love to pay the money to watch that type of fighting.
So do you feel their style, you mentioned how when you say they're great, you mean in terms of being appreciated by the American fans? Do you think their style just doesn't quite translate for the American fans?
Yeah, you know, their style is, you know, in one sense, a lot of people say, well, boy, I don't like watching their boxing because they don't see, you don't see the knockouts. We're used to like seeing, you know, Tyson knock everybody out. That's the excitement we want. Or we're used to seeing Evander Holyfield, you know, box his technical boxing against greater men than him. I'd like to see Lennox Lewis move around and throw that mighty jab that he has. But with the Klitschkos, you're not really getting that type of thing from them. They're actually boxing people, but they're battering them to death. The referee actually comes in there and says, listen, that's enough, you know, we don't want to see any more of this. So, you know, it's no fault of their own. That's their boxing style, and they're doing great at it. And it's no fault of their own that they don't have that competition out there. So it's just the time that we're in.
Now, you mentioned former champions Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield, who are both, they're going to be here. What is it like when you run into your old foes at events like this? Is it amicable and everything's left in the past?
No, I'm going to beat them up. I'm going to beat all of them up, man. No, it's always great to be with them guys because, you know, we're basically, could say gladiators that we fight against each other and we compete against each other and we leave it all in the ring, and then after we marvel at, yo man, you're a good fighter, man, and you know, you hit me with a great punch, and you know, it's always great to talk over old fights, and you know, we realize the sport that we're in, and we realize it's not an easy sport. We could die in it.
Now, you left the ring on your own terms, seemingly comfortable with walking away when you did. Do you wish that there was one fight that you didn't have with Riddick Bowe and that you had just gotten that out of the way through no fault of your own? He kind of walked away. Do you wish that he had lived up to the honor of that 4-man tournament commitment and put the belts on the line so you could have settled it with him?
It's funny because you figure if a man beats you in the Olympics that you would want to get him back and beat him in the professionals. And I remember Riddick Bowe saying to me, oh, Lennox, I see you in the professionals. I said, okay, no problem. And then he insults me and then wants to run away from me. So I had to call him Chicken Bowl. And he's still a Chicken Bowl. And he's talking about how he wants another fight again. He's a fool. I don't know. I don't think there's any fault of his own because I think it's due to a lot of punches to the head, especially a couple from me in the Olympics.
Lennox, thank you very much for attending the event. Have a good time and enjoy the cause.
Scary Movie 5.
I can't tell you anything about it.
But that you're in it, right?
Yes.
Are you going to want to be in any other films in the future?
Yeah, I'm going to do a bunch of films. I'm going to produce my own films too, with Tyrannic movies.
Mike, can you talk
I'm
about
going to do Broadway shows as well.
Mike, can you talk about how you felt when you were asked to be part of this event by the WBC and be
I'm
amongst these 12 boxers?
I'm always very grateful to be part of anything, you know what I mean? But the WBC is where I won my first belt at, and it's just, as I said earlier, I'm very grateful to be a part of it.
Can you believe in the past year or two how things have turned around for you with the movies, the TV show, the pigeons, all these talk show appearances, your one-man show on Broadway?
Well, I started living my life different. When you start living your life different things happen to you. And I started living my life on mostly a positive level and trying to not live the life I lived before. And just be grateful what God did for me 5 years ago, not what this year, last year. Just happy to still be able to live and be able to make money and to entertain people and to take care of my children. And that's really all that I'm really interested in now. And that's why on platforms like the WBC Cares is something that's pretty awesome, and I'm glad to be able to be on this platform and be able to show, like I said before, a humanity perspective on life as well.
How big of a juggle is it to do all those different things you're doing and being a good husband and good father, like you've talked about quite a bit to your children?
It's what I want to do. It's what I want to do, and it's, it's not going to happen overnight because I wasn't Mike Tyson overnight. So it's just going to take, it's day by day, it's perseverance and struggle. Without struggle, there's no progress, and I'm just happy to be a part of this whole organization.
Mike, how do you feel your life would be different if boxing didn't come into your life?
I don't know. Well, it don't look good. It really don't look good. But like I say, I'm not. I'm not a wizard and I'm not Nostradamus. I can't predict the future, so I don't know what. I'm just living day by day, and I'm very grateful how my life's been so far. If I was to die today, I would leave Owen life because I had a great life. Really, I did.
Mike, you talked about you just had some surgery. You mentioned Mauricio Suleiman. How are you doing? And what was the problem?
I had one of my discs was deteriorating, and I had to replace it with one of those iron poles, those titanium pipes, those unbreakable steel pipes.
So Iron Mike has a bit of iron in him now?
For real, yeah.
How long ago did you have that?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. So the incision's doing okay there? All right, looking good. All right, Mike, thanks for coming.
A pleasure. Thank you very much.
Enjoy yourself this weekend. It's a good cause.
We look forward to it. Thank you very much.
We're here with Thomas the Hitman Hearns at the WBC Hublot retirement auction event that's being held at the Bellagio in Las Vegas. Tommy, tell me what your feelings are about being invited to this event and the cause that they're undertaking to help with a pension fund for retired boxers.
I'm very, very excited to be one of the fighters that they are picking to come here to be part of this event. This event is a very great event which is going to help some fighters that may need some help out there in the world. So I think that whatever we can do to try to help somebody, we should do it.
Now, how are you doing these days? I know you had some hard times, and yet you're here lending your helping hand to others.
Everything for me is moving smoothly right now. I'm very happy. I'm content with everything in my life. So I'm not having any problem whatsoever to be concerned about, really.
Now you're moving into the promotional field now. I've read recently in Detroit.
That's something I want to do very much. So I think it's going to be a major advantage for me to get into the promoting end because I know the fighters know me, and they want to work with me.
How are things going with your son Ronald? Is he still going to keep at it?
Ronald's going to stay boxing. Right now he's still boxing training right now. Getting ready to fight October the 12th.
Okay.
In Michigan.
I noticed when you first came in, you ran into your old nemesis, Iran Barkley, but there was nothing but love and hugs and handshakes.
Me and Iran, every time we see each other, we always have a comment for each other because Iran fought me when back in he fought me in I think in 87, 88, something like that.
88, I think.
Yeah, and he defeated me. So Iran always hold on. He hold on to that very much so.
Yeah. But how it's easy to let the bygones be bygones, and it's in the past now, and that's part of the game for you?
You know, I think bygones is bygones, and when time to move on, just move on.
Yep. Now, when you got inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame back in June, two of the other so-called Four Kings, Ray Leonard and Marvin Hagler, were there to honor you. That had to make you feel good.
Well, always, you know, when you have all this together, it's always a good feeling, a good day.
Mm-hmm. How do you look at your era in boxing, really that golden era in the 80s with you guys and Duran and guys like Benitez, as compared to the sport today? Do you think it's the same? Do you think anything's different?
Well, you said the right word. It was the golden era of boxing, and those days, that era, that time is gone. And they will never fight like we fought before. They're never gonna fight like that anymore. And, so I think that we have to look ahead now for whatever's happening now. You're never gonna see them days again.
Do you feel that today's fighters are too focused on making money?
Yeah, they are definitely really focused on making the money. I mean, every fighter should be focused on making money, but you gotta figure like this: if you're in a fight, you're in a fight for money. So you're in there to do your very best, regardless of what you get paid for. You're in there to do your very best. You gotta give people what they want if you plan on making that type of money each time you go out. If you're not planning on making that money, you have type of money each time, then you're not gonna give your best.
What else about boxing would you maybe change if taking a look at today's landscape?
I will stop that thing from where they're able to now pick and choose who they want to fight. If you're a champion of the world, you're gonna be able to pick and choose who you want to fight. It's about taking on the next available guys in your weight division. That's what it's about. I mean, that's how you determine how good you may be, because you take on every good fighter out there, the best fighter out there. You have taken them all. You have defeated them. That's what it say. I'm the best in my division.
You mentioned the golden era. How would fighters like Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao have done with you and Leonard and Hagler and Duran? Do you think they would have been able to compete with you guys?
I think that if they was there, they would have done well as well. I think they would have done real good. I can't say that we would do any different than we did with the rest of everybody else. I think that we all have our time to shine.
And what would you think about this pension fund? And are you surprised that it took this long to come along?
No, I'm very surprised it took so long to come on, because even back in the 70s, 60s, 70s, people was having a hard time in boxing, in the boxing area. And now all of a sudden, they decide to do something in 2012, almost 2013. All the rest of the fighters done fell to the wayside and probably died off by now. And now they want to help. But I think any time is the right time to do something. If there's fighters out there today that may need help. So as long as they're stepping up now to put together something to do something for them, great.
Because all sports have are making more money now. If it's basketball, football, baseball, boxing versus before. But the guy before him paves the way so they can make that money. Right. But those sports always had the pensions, or for a long time. In boxing, it seemed like it's just behind the curve.
It's a little behind time, but you know what? It's never too late. Never too late, because there's always going to be fighters that need help. Right now, I'm speaking about the boxing because it's what we are. There's going to always be fighters out there that we can help and help them out a little bit.
And you mentioned, my colleague mentioned Manny Pacquiao. When he kind of made his improbable rise in weight over the years, I mean, what was your thoughts just when he started rising in weight, beating De La Hoya and Cotto?
I thought he was doing a good thing. I think that I'm proud of him. He fought his way up through the hard knocks about fighting, and now he's being rewarded by the money he's making. So, just all I say to him, man, just keep up the good work, man. Your time is coming, so he'll get what he deserves.
If Manny Pacquiao doesn't fight Floyd Mayweather, do you feel both of their legacies are kind of incomplete in a way?
Yeah, they will be.
Really?
You see, we always, when I was coming up in the 80s, we believe in taking on all comers. All come, whoever was out there and had the ability to get a ring with them, bring them on. If we go out there and take them out and beat them, you just didn't have the ability we thought you had.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tommy.
You got it.
We're here with Don Jose Suleiman, the president of the WBC, at the beautiful Bellagio Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada, for tomorrow night's WBC Hublot Watch fundraiser to raise money through an auction for a retirement fund for boxers that are in desperate need of help. President Suleiman, first of all, thank you for having Fight News here. Tell us about how this idea came about and how you teamed up with Hublot.
Well, the WBC has been very concerned for years of all the boxers that touched glory, ended boxing, and went into poverty. I can see so many boxers, living in misery. And I don't believe that boxing should forget him, because they're going into misery again means that they were abused, that they were used, that they were the center of attraction for others to come and spend their money. It means that they thought that in the next fight they would get back what they spent, until the time that everything went black. They didn't have any money, no help. His friends left him. TV left him. Promoters left him. And he's alone in the world. I believe that the boxing institutions, even though we are not for-profit, we are a non-profit organization, we should make an effort to help those old boxers who went dramatically into misery. So we started thinking in having $1 by every fan that goes to a boxing title match, but promoters haven't done it. So now we were looking for an organization who had the sensitivity to help boxing and the understanding that in reciprocity boxing would also support their compassion. Hublot came, and the owner, the president, Mr. Weaver, and I had a very nice conversation. He first brought a couple of watches for Lennox Lewis, Julio Cesar Chavez, but then we agreed that in these 12 months of 2012, when we were celebrating the 50th anniversary of the WBC, that we should select those that we believe that have been the absolute best in the world in boxing, that are living but who are retired. It was a selection of a group of people, and they accepted. They knew that they were going to receive a very nice watch, very expensive, but at the same time that their participation would be the first stone for the building of the future of the old former boxers that do not have to eat. After this, we want to continue looking for ways of income. And the one that we are going to follow is the opening in February of the first World Cup of Professional Boxing. Never done before. We are going to select the champions of Africa, Europe, the Commonwealth, Asia, the Pan-Pacific, North, Central, and South America. plus the silver and the international champions to make 12 teams and 4 divisions: the lightweight, welterweight, middleweight, and heavyweight. And we expect from this to have good money of income. One other thought that we already started, but the promoters didn't help us, was $1 per every fan that bought a ticket to see a World Boxing WBC title match. But it didn't happen. We hope that in the next year we will get the promoters together and help us. We have appointed 2 different committees. The first committee is the financial committee, and we have selected 3 people who have a great respectability, and they have been in boxing. They are not anymore, and they will have an independent financial commission from the WBC. There will be Dr. Jim Nave, Sig Rohich, and Steve Crossan. We are still too open that the rest of the confederations affiliated are going to recommend. They will be out of boxing. They have nothing to do with boxing, even though they know boxing and they have the compassion for the boxers. They will handle the financial. The WBC will handle the selection of boxers and the decision to who shall we give this priceless pension plan. And we are going to do that in every one of the 10 confederations. The oldest, most I would say, famous of the former champions who are living in extreme poverty. And we will select them in accordance to the voting of every confederation and give them a lifetime pension plan, including medicines. The pension will be modest, but at least they will live with some dignity. And that is the key. And we are thinking of lotteries, different things to make this a very special fund. We also have in our mind to have a rule and convince the champions of the world to keep 20% of their income in a trust in their name, with some clauses of inability to retire the money until X circumstances or X age, because the legend that I would like to live is to give boxers the understanding and the faith that they will not be forgotten, to lead them to understand that boxing has a very limited period and that the time will come when they have to say goodbye and confront the future. And it's a very difficult, because not many people have the compassion feeling that they should do, or they don't trust to where the money is going. There is always a reason, a defensive reason from the people that can help that keeps them from doing that. That's why we are trying to eliminate barriers like who manages the money. People who are not in boxing, totally independent of WBC, and who have a great respectability and very acceptable businesses. And that is the perhaps the last work in the time that God might still leave me in life.
Well, that's quite a legacy as the WBC reaches its first 50 years. This pension plan, the huge upcoming 50th convention, and last week's gift to the people of Brockton, Massachusetts, with the statue of Rocky Marciano.
Fantastic.
What were your thoughts on how that event went?
Well, those are the happiest days of my life. When I see the people devoted to a project, like in the case of Rocky Marciano, the stadium was full. So many people on the field also. And then see how they went to touch the statue of Rocky and see how some of the hands were slowly going down like a caress to a man, to a living man, to feel that their hero came back, that their hero is standing strong and tall. It made me feel very, very proud of the so much work that we do to get the money for these things. And that is what the people in boxing do not understand. I don't know, and I cannot talk about other organizations, but I know about the WBC. I know that the WBC is formed of a very important and large number of people, good citizens who love boxing and enjoy working for boxing. And those are the people that make the WBC. What do the people want? They want to be of service to the most needed. We all work very hard. We receive only, believe me, only in an area of the United States, many attacks and false accusations. But we understand that the media has the right to speak their thoughts, and as long as we don't do what they claim that we do, we don't care. Our only concern is to have plans, objectives, and to work for the plans and objectives and succeed on what we are doing for the good of boxing. And that's
Well, it really seems like you're on your way, and here's hoping that the criticisms are corrected, and the criticizers can see some of the good that not only the WBC is doing, but that fellow boxers are partaking in to lend a hand to their fellow boxers, and that the fans see that also.
well, I don't really care, but I hope that they will change. There are all types of people in life. Some are very good, innocent. Some are very positive, hardworking. Some are critics of the good also and the bad. Some are critics of the good. Others are critics of the bad. There is no bad, they invent it, but they have to write bad. That's life.
Well, President Suleiman, thank you for fighting the good fight and doing the work that you do and having Fight News along to report on it. We appreciate it.
Fight News is an organization that we respect very, very much. I hope that there were many more like Fight News. I'm going to see you tomorrow, and I hope that will join us in Cancun for the 50th anniversary.
We'll be there, you know it.
Very good.
All right, thank you very much.